A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports Tonight. This is the Thursday night edition of the show. Of course, promises to be exciting, fun-filled as always. We're happy to be here, and we like to say a very big thank you to you for staying true to us, and of course for being there for us. Because, I mean, in the races of the world, if you are not there, there is no point, no need for us to be here. But we are happy that you're there for us. We are here for you, and together this show will go on. My name is Toyin Ibitoye. I'm not alone. Starting off the show with me this Thursday, my immediate right, Tunde Koiki, and of course the far right, Dumnodi Okonta. Guys, let me welcome you to Sports Tonight this Thursday.
Thank you.
Dumnodi, yeah, and of course Tunde Koiki. But don't forget that it's a Thursday, and you remember we have a special for you on Thursdays. We create a little bit of fun around basketball, both domestic basketball and, of course, international basketball. It's a Thursday night, so at some point on this show, you would expect us to go all the way to Washington. We'll be hooking up live, as always, with Sonny Young. That will be later on the show. And, of course, on the domestic scene, nobody talks basketball better than Yemi Adebayo and Femi Adefeso. So later on the show, Yemi and Femi will be joining us on Sports Tonight, and they'll be giving us all we need to know, all the happenings around domestic basketball, both for the men, for the women, those who are being sanctioned, those who are winning awards, everything you need to know about domestic basketball, you will find on Sports tonight. So please stay with us and let us enjoy this show together. And the way you make us enjoy the show is if you interact with us, you chat with us, you send your comments, you send your opinion, you react to the issues as we raise them on Sports Tonight. And we want you to know that your feedback is very, very key. So we want you to be interactive with us. We want you to take advantage of our platforms. We want you to talk to us on Facebook. And, of course, for those of you who are already aware and already know how you can reach us on the show, it's showing on your screen on Facebook, channels, iPhone Sports. And if it's Twitter that is convenient for you, at channels_sports and at Tony Ibitoye, my own handle, are all there for you. So please go on, interact with us, give us your own opinion, give us your thoughts to issues as we raise them on the program tonight. We will, of course, spend plenty of time to talk about domestic football. What is the latest around the provisional clearance given to Giwa? What about Nimbe City? News coming out from the Secretariat of the League Management Company has plenty to say about Nimbe City. You'll find out as we go on the show tonight. And hopefully, we will try to reach on phone on the program tonight the owner of Nimbe City. We'll be expecting him to talk to us later on Sports Tonight as we go along. So it's a very tight show. You will enjoy every bit of it. And I can assure you, we won't waste your time. Tunde, let's start with the countdown to the World Cup. How many days to the World Cup now?
72.
70 days now
70,
to the World Cup. You guys have to keep track because it's closing in on us, don't know. 70 days, some parts of the world 69 actually, but 70 days for us to the World Cup. I mean, and you said it yesterday, the final whistle of 2010 World Cup in South Africa looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
And another one is closing in on us.
Well, I'm just, to be candid, I'm not really big on countdowns. I'm just waiting for the big kickoff. Yeah,
June 12th.
That's all I'm waiting for. Or whether it's 5 days, 2 days, 1 year.
All you are concerned about is D-Day.
D-Day, that's all that matters.
Kickoff.
And that D-Day now is increasingly looking like it will take place in Sao Paulo, despite so many other questions regarding the readiness.
And that takes us to the first story.
Yeah.
Our first story on the program tonight definitely has got to do with the city, the stadium, hosting the opening game of the 2014 World Cup Brazil. People say the way you start a tournament will show what the tournament will bring. For Brazil, it doesn't look like Sao Paulo will be fully ready in terms of the structures they want to put up. What are they thinking about, Tunde? Temporary structures.
Temporary structures.
Just to help us serve for the opening game.
Exactly.
And some of the matches of the World Cup.
Exactly. And State Bank has released 2/3 of a $160 million outlay to fund these temporary structures. But even the club that is concerned, that owns the stadium, the Corinthians Football Club, they are not really so intent, or they are not saying so much as regards how they are going to, how do I put it, also form part of the cost, put a part of the cost, and it's becoming an increasing problem. And that stadium seems to be jinxed. A third worker died there just last week as well. That was the same stadium where a crane crashed, destroying parts of the stadium, the stadium's roof. So it's a really, really massive problem in Sao Paulo. But the FIFA are confident that they can put up some temporary structures that will see them through the tournament, and they have insisted that the opening game will take place in Sao Paulo as scheduled. They have no plans to move it. But the Sao Paulo stadium is not the only stadium. There's Curitiba, Cuiabá as well. In fact, they say there's even more problems in Curitiba than in Sao Paulo, where over 140,000 square meters of concrete still remain to be laid. And in 70 days, that's almost like it's like a miracle. If you ask any civil engineer, it's almost like a miracle, but they are confident that it will be done. So 6 stadiums already missed the FIFA deadline. That was for sure. And they're still trying to get these 6 up to scratch, but the truth is it has been easy. The costs have spiraled beyond $11 billion. The people are protesting. There's still the Rio Olympics to come as well. So Brazil is a bit on the edge right now, but FIFA and the Brazilian government are confident that they can still deliver an excellent tournament.
All right, so what we'll be seeing on the opening day of the 2014 FIFA World Cup are temporary structures, maybe, that will just serve us throughout the World Cup. It's looking more like that's what we'll see. Plans to get permanent structures not meeting up with deadlines. It looks like we have to make do with temporary structures and hope that tragedies do not come out of those temporary structures. Because the opening game of the World Cup, I expect that the stadium will be filled to capacity. And that's a test of stress on that facility. So I don't know what you're expecting.
Well, when FIFA tells you plan A, Brazil, plan B, Brazil, plan C, Brazil, this is what they're talking about. So when you had
sink and swim
with Brazil, because that was the same kind of notion they had about South Africa when we had the security challenges and the crimes around South Africa.
South Africa was not like this.
No, I'm not talking of the structure. I'm talking of some of the
reports about the war.
Yeah. We know what happened at the end of the day. But I don't know why Brazil is coming.
They had 7 years to prepare for this.
But I don't
It's
know.
a Brazilian
Opposed. I don't know, because when we hear Maracana, we have to host the World Cup. Even the stadium in Sao Paulo, we can host the World Cup without even blinking an eye. But I don't know why Brazil is falling short of expectations.
Tunde will tell us that it's a Brazilian culture.
Oh, that's a
to
Brazilian
delay
culture.
things.
They are very lax
to delay, but
things.
this is the
They
word
say
being
Brazil,
laid.
if you have a 4 o'clock appointment,
Go after 4.
Yeah, go after 4.
But the fact of the case is this is laid back taken too far.
Oh, most definitely.
And laid back gone awry. Because obviously now things are just not working the way they hope that it
The
would
problem
be.
here is that normally when you deliver stadiums, there has to be a test period where security, crowd control, facilities are checked to ensure that they are the optimum. But when you have temporary structures like this that will be subjected to tremendous amounts of stress that you mentioned, and that have not been properly tested in the running up to the World Cup, it's a recipe for disaster.
All right, let's close that one and maybe look at the football on the pitch. This time, let's just take a look at news. This, I'm sure, must be very trying moments in Belgium because people think that Belgium will be outsiders to the title in Brazil, to the World Cup trophy in Brazil. And that's because of the quality of players that Belgium will be bringing to the Mondial. But the story coming out of Belgium today, not a pleasant one. Dumnodi, what is this? Injury. Christian Benteke, one of the guys that everybody's been anticipating that we will see at the World Cup, is out. Is injured, out for 6-7 months.
Yeah, he sustained an injury in last weekend game in the Premier League.
And these are the pictures from what happened to him.
And looking at his face, you know this is a serious situation. And
Actually, he ripped his Achilles tendon.
Just imagine. So it's going to be up to 6 months. And you know, between now and 6 months, you know, it's going to be next season. So that effectively ruled him out of the World Cup. And so we are I don't know, we are having this situation where we have some of the top strikers, some of the high-profile players, some of the
It happens in the build-up to every World Cup.
So you keep having this unless they do the Asamoah magic.
Placenta.
Yeah, I don't know.
Placenta transplant.
So I don't know.
Placenta of the horse.
Yeah, I don't know whether they can do that.
Whether it can work for him.
For 6 months, but the best is that Aston Villa won't allow that. Just will allow force this guy back. The fact is that it's out for 6 months.
6 months is 6 months. You can't.
6 months.
You have to go through a
Actually,
whole
we
process.
see magic.
Yeah.
We see magic, but this is too long because we are now in April. 6 months from now is going to be sometime in October. It's going to be back in October.
Actually, Aston Villa and Belgium are both in trouble. Christian Benteke is obviously their most potent weapon, and if he's out of the equation, they only have to rely on Gabriel Agbolaho, Andreas Weimann, and also a very inconsistent Libo Kozak, in Czech Republic.
For Belgium, they can count on Lukaku. They can count
only
on
Lukaku. That is the problem.
Eden Hazard. They can count on
point striker.
a lot of options.
A lot of around just 2 strikers.
Lukaku
just
and
Lukaku and Benteke. He has a plethora of attacking players behind them, the Kevin De Bruyne's, the Eden Hazards, but just 1 point man. Now he's in a quandary because he was only going to take just Lukaku and Benteke. Now he can only call on Michy Batshuayi, who is top scorer in the Belgian league, 20 years old, but he has never ever played at international level before. So he's now in a quandary. He's taking in Lukaku, who he knows very well, but his backup is an inexperienced neophyte who has never played international football.
Well, they have to make do with it because there's nothing that Benteke can do about this. It's out, it's out. They have to look for options, and I think they're lucky that they have enough time to plan an alternative to Christian Benteke. But it's really sad news for those of us expecting to see the best player at the World Cup. Christian Benteke will not be there for Belgium.